Blessings, beloveds. I was deeply guided to come here and share a little bit about the massive operations happening on Earth right now, which is all about the dismantling of service to self and assisting everything that is needed to move into service to others, into unity, and really start to operate from the universal laws. So let's take a couple of deep breaths before you make a choice to tune into this. We ask only for what is in the highest divine order to be received for each and every one of us as God would have it be. And as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay? So Mother Earth has her own planetary light body, right? It's a 12-dimensional, beautiful, powerful light body that is ascending, right? We went from Tara, which we're operating in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. There was massive wars, and Earth descended many thousands of years back. And we have been on the Earth, which has been operating from the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd dimension, right? So we descended back. And now we're coming back into the frequency of Tara, which is the future Earth frequency. So Mother Earth's light body is a reflection of our light body, of your light body, of my light body. We are deeply interconnected with Mother Earth's light body. So that means that when she's ascending, when she's going through massive clearings, we are also doing that. Right now there's incredible operations with the most profound, advanced, benevolent beings that haven't been here on Earth before, assisting with the dismantling of the dark feminine, the dark mother, and the dark masculine. And through all of this work, finally the Cosmic Father is here and returning back to our planet, which hasn't been here for eons of lifetimes. So right now, these benevolent beings like the ruby solar dragons are assisting with bringing down this 48-dimensional ruby ray frequency, the diamond sun DNA template into Earth. And when this is being installed here on Earth, in the grid systems, in the stargates, it's being directly installed into our light bodies. And of course it depends on how much clearing and healing we have done. The more we've done, the more we can receive this incredible diamond sun solar DNA activations that are coming through. So I was guided to talk a little bit about understanding that it's so easy to see the dark feminine, the dark mother, the dark masculine in others, but we are in that final stage now, which means that we need to be able, with self-compassion and unconditional love, see what of those parts are still inside of us. So that's massive purges happening right now. And the dark feminine, the dark lunar female, and the dark mother has been a clearing for a long time, because the feminine part of our body, this is beyond genders. The female part of ours, the left side, is the receiver, right? So before the feminine has healed to a certain level, which needed to happen on Earth, certain amount of light bodies and humans needed to have been upgraded and cleared and healed the distorted feminine enough for the divine masculine to be able to come. That was like the order that needed to happen. First, the healing of the receiver energy that we all have inside of us, the feminine. So let's go in a little bit about the dark feminine here, because the dark lunar female is the distorted female that the NAA, the controllers, have attacked and really distorted. And we all, like all of us, the men, the women, it doesn't matter how much we have ascended, we still have these aspects. And for many of us, we're on like the final pinnacle point of clearing it. And these like lost core pieces can be really intense. And we have chosen to incarnate through lineages that holds this distorted femininity for us to experience it and clear it, right? So the dark lunar female, she is manipulating, she's using her emotions to manipulate. She's emotional intelligence and she uses them to manipulate. I say she, but this can be in a man too, okay? So using emotions to manipulate. There's a lot of deception in the dark feminine, a lot of dependency, making other people dependent on you and becoming dependent on other people. There's a strong victim mentality inside of the dark lunar female, and it's again like, look at all these traits and go through it yourself and like, do I have it? There's a distorted sexuality where we tend to punish the partner with giving or not giving, right, sex, or manipulating through the sexual energy and force that the feminine holds. There's this jealousy and also insecurity and making yourself inferior, smaller than you are. This is some of the traits of the dark feminine, okay? And all of this now, like if we have just a slightly little part of this, it needs to be cleared before we move into the next part of the ascension. And this happens simultaneously, right? So we're all the time now clearing, dismantling. It happens inside of us. All these beautiful, powerful dragons, the guardian hosts, the Palidorians, the Auroras are here and assisting to clear the stargates, the ley lines from this. So it's easier for us also to move into the divine feminine, right? The divine feminine always operates from unconditional love, no matter what the outer is doing to her. Has compassion towards herself, the past, and others people's journey and their past. Have a strong intuition and live and follow her intuition. Again, this can be in the man, right? All of the men have their feminine side. She's in contact with her creativity, like that flows all the time, and the divine feminine energy within us is creating the new earth. She's nurturing. People feel nurtured in her, like company, and there's a strong authenticity in everything that is. The highs, the lows, authentic in the shadows, in the light, right? So that is the transition we're doing, and it's not easy. Why? Because our wounded inner child is many times still operating from the wounded feminine, the distorted feminine, right? So we need to just move up to observers, see all these qualities of the dark feminine, and just like with compassion and self-responsibility, devotion, move into the divine feminine, and like be really honest when we're not feeling those virtues all the time, and stop everything else and sit down, journal, sit in meditation, clear, and just like make the shift, right? So we've been going deeply into these teachings in the self-mastery. I was doing like a clearing and activations because this is like embedded in our DNA. It comes from eons of lifetimes. It comes from our ancestors, and it comes from an inner child, right? And then we don't only have the dark lunar female that has been clearing through the dark Madonna network in the grid system. We have the dark mother, which what I see, all of us that are mothers have that inside of us. All of us that are fathers have that side inside of us. It's like the journey we have chosen to inherit it from our lineage, from the system, and also from Mother Earth's first, second, and third dimensional consciousness, right? So it's also important, again, to do healing with compassion, like, oh my God, I've been in this, some of these parts I've been in, but now I'm ready to see it, clear it, take self-ownership over it, and do the shift, right? So the dark mother, she's controlling. She's controlling her kids, those she loves. She tries to control their paths, like make sure they're not, doing mistakes, blah, 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 which is not good, right? That creates like karmic paths and cords and all of those things. There's a possessiveness in the dark mother. There's a smoothering, like a martyr syndrome, and then also like victimhood and emotional victimhood, right? All of those traits are important to see. Also, the dark mother can neglect those she loves, but also neglect herself. And there's conditions to her love, right? So I think we've all experienced the dark mother energy in also authorities, teachers, and all of those things, maybe in some relatives. So all of this is massively being cleared, right? And the dark mother is returning since many years back, but there's a massive operation around that too. And the divine mother, she's having this unconditional nurturing energy. She doesn't have conditions to when she's going to nurture, right? She has this divine protectiveness energetically. She's had this wise guidance. She's empathic. She's patient. And she's supportive. And most of all, she's very accepting to each and every person's path. So if you haven't done the work of clearing this, I totally invite you to go in and do the Divine Mother, the Divine Feminine, transmutation, clearings and retrievals and resurrections. And somehow these need to be in place up to a certain amount of percentage for the masculine healing to happen, right? So if we look at this collectively, we have cleared so much of the dark feminine and the dark mother, so much. And again, I say this, we have another 5-6 intense months because we're doing the core clearing of these things that are still there, and many of them are there subconsciously. So we really need to have done enough healing of the inner child to be able to move up to the observer point and to, with compassion, see those lost core parts inside of us of the dark mother and the dark feminine, right? So, and now finally, the dismantling of the dark, controlling, suppressive masculine is happening, and we see this all over the planet, right? With the controllers, the control systems, and they're trying to clinch on. It's like the last attempt to stay here. The dark masculine is operating from aggression, from dominance, and again, if you're a female, a woman, you still have a masculine side inside of you, and it can come up when you maybe get triggered and someone is treating you unfairly or betrays you. So it's also like, okay, look at those parts. Okay, aggression, dominance, emotional suppression. Like, you know, it's easy. I've seen this so many times in women in relationships that they go up and they go into emotional suppression of the man also. But the men, of course, many times are suppressing the feminine and the females, right? The distorted masculine wants to control. It has a lot of arrogance and has competitiveness, and also have no connection to source and God. So these are like the traits that we also need to check within ourselves. Okay, am I competing? You know, when do I want to have control? When am I dominating? And all of those things, right? And the most important thing is to look, I think, at the divine masculine that is now coming in. And we all just totally want that, because so many of us have needed to control our lives. So many of us have been in the masculine too much. But if we look at what kind of masculinity have we been in, I mean, I worked with female groups for like 20 years, and so many women know that they're too much in their masculine, right? And but that masculine part of us is usually the wounded, the dark, the distorted masculine. So even the women are retrieving the divine masculine inside of us. And absolutely the men. And I can see in the men that many men have even chosen before in the distorted masculine to suppress, or they have escaped. So they haven't showed up in their responsibility and haven't been the protector. And this, I mean, many times you see when there's a separation and the man either just suppress the woman, takes a lot of the money and things, or just disappears and don't take self-responsibility, right? So it's those two things that I'm seeing all over in so many of the male soul brothers I have that are really reclaiming the responsibility, the protector energy, and all of this also in us as women, right? So the divine masculine holds a lot of strength. It holds space for divine order. So it holds space for divine order without control. And also the divine masculine holds space for divine free will to be anchored and to feel safe, to put your limits, your boundaries, and use your free will, okay? And what I love about the divine masculinity is accountability. That also so many of us that need to step into next level of accountability, and then protection. And I mean, my divine masculine energy needs to be able to protect me also, right? And then protect others through this correct frequency. And also the divine masculine holds divine leadership, which means service to others, not service to self. And the divine masculine assists with emotional balance, which the feminine can go into chaos, right? So the masculine holds the emotional balance. So there's beautiful advanced templates coming in now. We have the ruby solar dragons. We have the ruby order coming in. And they're manifesting and bringing down through these dimensional layers that are now accessible on Earth. They're bringing down this diamond solar sun DNA bodies for us to embody. So this is massive, guys. And I just released all 3 pieces of the 7 teachings of the self-mastery, and I'm excited to release the clearing and the activation about this. And if you are listening to this and just moved into the self-mastery, it's really beneficial to do also the clearing of the dark feminine and the dark mother and move into the divine. So before I end this live, let's tune in and see if there's any assistant energies that wants to come through, like an activation. Okay, tuning in deeper into your sacred heart as we ask for God's infinite love, light, and power to come in as protection, and only those beings that are 100% in service to the eternal living light code of God to come in, closing all negative portals, all inorganic artificial timelines. So I'm seeing that they're showing us our heart. So look at your heart. Go in. If you can't see, use your imagination. They're showing me our heart in 12 dimensions, okay? So connect to your heart in a 12-dimensional energy and understand how many layers there is, both that needs to communicate with each other. That it's not enough to only communicate with one energy body. We need to have all 12 energy bodies communicating with each other. So we ask the teams now to assist us to open up all communication links between all of our 12 energy bodies. Okay, moving into the physical energy body as the ruby solar dragons are stepping in into all 4 corners, north, south, east, west, earth, sky, and heart, and they're assisting with their presence, bringing in the encodement of the divine masculine principles. Feel their energy in all 4 corners, standing and showing up in their divine masculine principles of protection, stability, divine order, and accountability and integrity. You feel very safe around the ruby solar dragons. One ruby solar dragon steps forward, starts to breathe into your physical energy body, starts to clear any dark masculine energies here. If you feel any contractions, any kind of constrictions, any tensions in your physical body that is related to maybe anger, control, emotional suppression, just asking now the dragon to clear this, and the supporting dragons around. Beautiful. All 4 of the solar ruby dragons starts to breathe into your physical energy body and strengthening your physical energy body with protection and strength and courage. The dragon moves into your emotional energy body, starts to breathe, and the other 3 assists, and they start to clear your emotional energy body from any sense of competitiveness and just they're communicating with me. If you feel that you are feeling superior or inferior to others, and you compare yourself, and you feel that you emotionally go in and compare and suppress yourself and others, the dragon can now start to clear this. We have the cat assisting here. Beautiful. The rest of the dragons are stepping in, starting to activate your emotional energy body into emotional balance. Divine union and feeling unity consciousness. Next part is the mental energy body that the ruby solar dragon starts to breathe into and starts to clear any mind loops on any ways about attachments, mind loops of you trying to control your situation, your future, your relationships. Clearing. Beautiful. The 4 ruby solar dragon starts to breathe, activating and balancing your mental energy body into divine inner self leadership. Beautiful. And the 4 ruby solar dragons take the last energy body, your spiritual energy body, start to clear any resistance to totally surrender to God, to the Christed path. Any mistrust towards God, any God wound can be cleared now. Abandonment, feelings, betrayal from God, from source, from your family of light. And now the 4 ruby dragons from each corner start to breathe in to your spiritual energy body, opens it up to a strong connection, faith and trust to God, to source, to the Christos path. Now, the ruby solar dragon starts to spin, and they spin in this ruby spiral. Make sure that these energies are being integrated and aligned. Beautiful. They just put you down and you anchor into earth, breathing yourself back as we ask for all of this energy work to be sealed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, so be it, so be it. It is done. Take a couple of breaths and come back. Blessings, beloved. I hope this could assist you. I will put the link into the self-mastery if you guys feel the guidance to try out a month. It's just incredible to be in that space and having this mission together and strengthen our spiritual discipline, devotion, inspiration together. And it doesn't matter how you choose to connect to this work. You can do this by yourself at home. However, we're all part of this collective cleansing and restoration and retrieval and resurrection of the Cosmic Father. So regardless, we're all a part of it, okay? I love you. I honor you. If you want to share anything in the comments, I always love to read what came through for you, okay? Blessings. Mwah.